Have you ever felt like you're standing still while everyone around you is moving forward? Like life is unfolding for other people, while you're left staring at an empty space, trying to understand what went wrong. You watch others build careers, relationships, stability, momentum, and you're still here, surrounded by silence, uncertainty, and waiting. And the question starts looping in your mind. What am I doing wrong? Why does it seem like everyone else found their path while you're stuck in the chaos? Why does nothing shift? Even after all the effort, all the patience, all the times you kept going when it would have been easier to quit. The hardest part isn't the emptiness itself. It's the meaning you've attached to it. The belief that this nothing is proof that you're behind, failing, or incapable. But what if this empty space isn't absence at all? What if it's the exact place where something much bigger is being prepared? Because what you're about to hear doesn't arrive randomly. It finds you right before everything begins to fall into. What looks like an empty lot isn't empty, it's preparation. And what you've been calling delay is actually the most important phase of the entire build. The part that happens underground where no one is watching. The reason you're still here, the reason it feels like nothing is moving while others are already living their lives, isn't because you failed. It's because what's being built for you requires a deep foundation. Shallow structures rise quickly, tall ones take time. And here's the part most people never realize. The bigger what's coming is, the less visible the early stages are. You've been measuring your progress by what's happening above the surface. And that's why it feels confusing, discouraging, and heavy. But if you can understand what's actually happening beneath the surface right now, everything shifts. Because there's a massive difference between being stuck and being prepared. Skyscrapers don't take years to build because of how high they rise. They take years because of how deep they must go. Long before a single floor appears above ground, there's months, sometimes years, put of work that looks unimpressive from the outside. Excavation, soil testing, reinforcement, concrete being poured slowly, then left untouched so it can cure. No applause, no visible progress. Just trust in a process that can't be rushed without consequences. And if you walk past a construction site during that phase, it looks like nothing. Just dirt, just holes, just delays. Anyone who doesn't understand the process assumes something is wrong. But the truth is, that invisible stage is the only reason the building will be able to stand when the height finally comes. Skip it, and everything above eventually collapses. This is exactly where you are. What you've been calling being behind is actually depth being formed. While others built quickly, visibly, and impressively, you were guided into something slower and far less validating. Not because you lack ability, but because what's coming for you carries more weight than you could support back then. Shallow foundations rise fast, but they crack under pressure. When life starts adding floors, responsibility, leadership, complexity, expectation, everything built too quickly begins to shift, fracture, and fall. You've seen it happen. People who looked ahead of you suddenly unravel. Not because they weren't gifted, but because they rushed toward the visible part before the invisible work was done. Waiting felt like losing. So they built anyway. And now they're rebuilding again, while you're still in the foundation phase, questioning whether anything is happening at all. What you don't see yet is that this phase is not punishment. It's protection. It's precision. It's life refusing to let you rise before you can stand. Now look back at your story honestly. Every door that closed, every plan that collapsed at the last minute, every relationship that ended even though you wanted it to work. You label those moments as rejection, failure, or loss. But from a higher perspective, those were structural decisions. Life was acting like an architect who understands the full blueprint, not just the part you could see at the time. Every closed door wasn't life denying you. It was life saying, this structure won't hold where you're going. Every plan that fell apart wasn't wasted effort. It was life saying, this design doesn't support the weight of who you're becoming. Every ending wasn't abandonment. It was filtration. Not everything can go to higher levels. Not everyone can withstand the altitude you're being prepared for. And the most painful part? You wanted to move forward. You wanted to build something, anything, just so you wouldn't feel left behind. You considered settling, downsizing your dreams, choosing what was available instead of what was aligned. And yet, something kept stopping you. Not because life wanted you to suffer, but because it refused to let you anchor yourself to a structure that would collapse the moment your real life tried to move in. This phase wasn't about stopping you, it was about saving you time you would have lost rebuilding later. It was about removing weak points before they became fractures. It was about making sure that when you finally rise, you don't have to start over again. While it feels like nothing is happening externally, something profoundly important has been unfolding internally, quietly, consistently, and with intention. This phase has been reshaping you in ways you could never have accessed if everything had worked out earlier. If doors had opened when you wanted them to, if things had flowed easily, you would have moved forward with the same internal structure you had back then. And that version of you, no matter how well-intentioned, wasn't built to carry what's coming next. Your patience has been reinforced like steel, not the passive kind that waits while resenting the pause, but the deep, resilient patience that can sit inside uncertainty without collapsing into anxiety, comparison, or despair. You've learned how to stay present without immediate answers, how to keep going without guarantees, how to trust your inner compass when there's no external validation confirming that you're on the right path. That kind of patience doesn't come from comfort. It's forged in silence, in waiting, in unanswered questions. Your discernment has sharpened as well. You no longer chase what only looks impressive from the outside. You've learned the difference between noise and truth, between attention and alignment, between movement and progress. Things that once pulled you in, recognition, approval, urgency, superficial success, no longer have the same grip. Not because you became detached or indifferent, but because your perception matured. You now sense when something drains you, even if it looks good on paper. You can feel when something is misaligned, even if others celebrate it. That awareness is not accidental. It was cultivated here. Your boundaries are being set like concrete, slowly, deliberately, permanently. You don't tolerate what exhausts your nervous system the way you once did. You don't overextend yourself to earn belonging. You don't abandon your inner truth just to stay connected to people, roles, or situations that no longer fit. Your standards have risen not out of arrogance, but because your capacity has expanded. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you've been excavated from the inside out. Old patterns removed, old beliefs loosened, old versions of yourself gently, sometimes painfully, dismantled. Like ground being dug deeper and wider, you've been making space for something larger than your old life could ever hold. And none of this is visible. There are no milestones to celebrate publicly, no proof to show others, or even yourself, that progress is happening. No clear markers that say, yes, this was worth it. That's why this phase tests you so deeply. Because the work that matters most rarely announces itself. It doesn't come with applause. It doesn't come with instant confirmation. But this is exactly where durability is decided. This is where strength is encoded. This is where the difference between what lasts and what eventually collapses is locked in. The mistake was comparing your foundation to someone else's finished building. You weren't meant to build the same thing. They built wide. You're building deep. They built fast. You're building to last. They built what they could afford at the time, with the awareness, capacity, and readiness they had then. You're building what you were designed to carry. Something heavier, something more complex. Something that requires depth, stability, and integration. And the moment you truly understand that, comparison loses its power, because you finally realize nothing has gone wrong. You've been preparing for something real. The foundation phase is the longest and quietest part of the process. It's the season where people ask what you're doing and you don't have a clear answer, where you question if you're even on the right path because there's no visible proof. But this phase determines everything that comes next. Once the foundation is set and the concrete cures, what follows rises fast. What took years to prepare supports progress that happens quickly. So hear this, you're not behind, you're deeper. And depth is what allows height. What looked like nothing was preparation. The foundation is almost ready, and when it rises, it will rise for real.